I'm not gonna try so hard to please somebody else. Cause when I make it home, I feel so fucking empty. Keep your head up, no, it's not your fault.
All right, guys. This is episode 4 of Things and Dreams podcast. I have been absent for about 2-3 weeks from doing a podcast.
Wow.
And I have a new guest today. Can you introduce yourself?
I am Dexter Mitchell. What's going on? Oh, I'm an artist.
So I'm gonna lead it a little bit, but
yeah,
I'm gonna see how we can flow in the convo.
Okay.
And just some things might come up that if it's not directed with a question, sometimes we just gotta let things be.
We can do that.
So this is Dexter Mitchell II.
Yes.
You said you're an artist.
I am.
How do you know you're an artist, Dexter?
I guess because I make things that my favorite artists kind of do and make a little bit.
What inspires you to do it other than your art, other artists that you like?
A lot of things. I mean, storytelling is one thing as far as writing scripts or writing for the screen or the stage. But as far as music goes, I think expression is a very big part of what inspires me, or at least drives me. Just being able to get my feelings off my chest when I know that I have some hot chords or
Okay. Are you a very emotional person?
Definitely. Yeah, 100%.
When did you understand that and took it as a power instead of a weakness?
I feel like only recently. I think for a long time. I mean, I've always known I was emotional, and anyone who knows me well knows that I'm emotional, whether or not I like to express that. But I think for a long time, I just tried to bury my feelings or didn't really know how to get a hold of them.
How did you deal with your emotions?
How did I, or how do I now?
How did you and how did you? Yeah, well, ask both.
I guess I just really didn't back. And I mean, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't punch things
I mean, okay, yeah, I guess I did that, but
yeah.
I don't know. I mostly just listening to sad music and just wallowing.
All right, tell me some of the sad songs you listened to growing up.
I mean, anything Coldplay is just
yes,
right there.
The Scientist is my favorite song.
Nice.
Okay, Coldplay. What else?
Bon Iver.
Oh
for
yes.
sure.
Oh my god.
I think my world was actually turned on its head when I discovered Bon Iver.
You're making, my brain's screwed. I want to listen to it right now.
I did not know. I knew that sad music existed, but I didn't know it was okay to be this aggressively and unapologetically sad.
See, I saw it
this
as
is
beauty.
Exactly how he's saying everything that I need to say.
I saw it as beauty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought of it was that sad for me, because I think I live in a sad mindset.
That's
Is
fair.
that good? You think that's good?
No. I mean, because I definitely lived there for a while. I think middle school, early high school, everyone's going through that teenage angst phase.
Yeah.
And some people listen to Panic at the Disco or Fall Out Boy and wear black and express themselves that way.
Or some people watch listen to Never Shout Never.
Yeah, exactly.
And then signs all the time.
Some people listen to Coldplay and Bon Iver. It's very different. And I don't think that writing fan fiction is exclusive to either. We're going down a very weird rabbit hole.
We keep going many tangents. But
like I said.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna bring it back. So you are an artist. You create things. You said you do filmmaking. So
yes,
tell the audience all the things you make and create from music on.
Oh gosh. Well, definitely music. I play guitar and I write and sing, and so there's kind of 2 elements in one. But then I write for the stage and for the screen, or am aspiring to do so. I really want to start writing for comics too, because that's something I'm passionate about.
What's your favorite comic you have right now?
Bruh,
I know it's a hard question.
that is a hard question.
Our comedy movie or like comedy writer. Some people could say Seth Rogen.
No, I mean like comic books, like
comic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to like
Yes,
yeah,
okay, comic
like
comic
Batman
books.
and like
Okay.
Watchmen and
Yeah, Watchmen. Yeah, I got that.
yeah.
So, can you draw?
No, that's what I said. I want to write for comics.
You want to write for them?
Yeah, because that's a whole thing, you know.
So, tell the audience a short little story that you've had in your head that you want to like get out.
That's a good question. I guess there's a really big one actually now. I really want to produce a story. It kind of be like a collection of short films, but it's all about people with superpowers who have like, it's like if superpowers were just like regular and like as like regular as like, you know, XY, you know, genetics thing. Like,
yeah, everyone
for all intents and purposes, 50% of the population has superpowers or 50% doesn't. But like it'd all be about people who do like really regular things. Like one story in particular, I think about like this guy who owns a restaurant for whatever reason. Like he's got like 150 reservations or something, and his whole staff like quits or like strikes or something. But he has super speed, so basically he ends up having to run the whole store by himself, which like he can, but it's like it's still hard.
Yeah.
So just like stuff like that.
I really like that. My head like went straight to like visualizing it, and like, would it be in a comic? You think?
I think that's one. I really want to. One thing that I try and think about when writing is like trying to be able to adapt it to whatever medium kind of suits it best.
Yeah.
I think a comic would be great to like showcase it or like, you know, get started now. And I think if I had a good artist to do so, it could be really compelling. But I definitely could see it done really well as like a short film or even like a feature film comprised of like kind of like a Pulp Fiction type deal or like a.
Okay. So my first thought is like, you were talking about like matching the medium, like with what your story is.
Yeah.
So sometimes like stories don't translate well on film. They translate better in like, you know, a book or a comic or a manga.
Right.
So why do you think some stories don't translate well to film? Because I'm thinking about the guy and his super speed, and you know you have to do basically like visual effects for that, and like, you know, it's easily like they can do it now. Basically, it looks all great on TV, but you don't get the magicalness of it because like we know it's special effects.
Right.
When you're like reading a comic, you could like add your little own like imagination to it.
Right.
So,
well, I think there are a lot of things that go into like what I think specifically case by case when it comes to adapting things, but also like in an overall sense of like adapting something that's not visual or not a moving visual, I should say, as opposed to making it. I think it becomes something else if you don't stick to like a clear vision. But I think if you, I don't know. I think personally, if you write a good story or like write a story that's solid or works, then it should be able to go
adapt
the distance.
anything.
Yeah. And I think how you put it together is the only way that it, you know, may differ. You know, if it's like cheesy effects or bad animation, that's one thing. But that's a good story is a good story.
A good story is a good story. We were talking about this. So like basically before we jumped into the podcast, me and Dexter met for the first time. We are complete strangers, and I started asking him all these questions and trying to get to know him really fast. It was basically like 21 questions, and like, so I learned like about you pretty fast. Can you tell the audience where you're from and a little bit about your backstory.
Okay. I am from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I guess my backstory, I grew up doing a lot of music stuff or doing a lot of artistic things, and then came to Charleston to do some of those things, and that's what I'm here doing.
Okay. I want to get a little bit more out of you from your backstory. So, like, when did you first pick up a guitar?
Probably, I had to be like third or fourth grade. I think my parents got me a guitar because I asked for one.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't really serious about it. Even I wasn't serious about it, and I got a little bit serious because it was cool when by the time I was in fifth grade, my elementary school had started this kind of like guitar program. And so like whenever we'd go to music class, they like hired someone who knew how to teach guitar. And so like I learned a few things then, but I never really stuck with it. And that was fifth grade. And so it wasn't until like I was probably like 14 or 15 that I started doing like youth group and like worship band type stuff. And then that kind of like having to put together songs every week and like play every week is kind of what got you
to practice more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Name your favorite Christian song you played in the youth group.
Let's see.
I'm bringing it back.
That's a great question. All the way back. We did so many. How He Loves wasn't my favorite, but that was like a classic.
Okay. You liked how you played it on guitar?
Yeah.
Did you sing it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I sing whenever the guitar was involved, I was usually singing as well.
So let's do the origin story of the singing too. So like what happened where you like, there was a group of people and there's all of these instruments and you're about to play. What happened? Did like the teachers say like, or the youth group, the music minister say that like, who wants to sing? And y'all just all come up to the mic and like tried and they picked someone out. Like how did the origin of you singing? Or was it just a shower and like?
Definitely a lot of shower singing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my parents, at least my dad specifically, he grew up singing and grew up in the church singing, and music was always kind of like a big part of like, it was just kind of just like around
of the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like my dad was always singing, and it made me comfortable and like singing in the radio and stuff.
Okay.
But I think at some point they just kind of like put us in different choirs or other things. And I mean, I realized I could like carry a note or like had a voice, but it wasn't until I started like really playing guitar and singing on my own that people were like, "You have such a great voice," or like, "Your voice is so great." And I'm like, "Oh, wow. I knew it was pretty good, but thank you." And so.
Okay. So let's talk about why you're here. What do you want to be referred to as an artist? What's your artist name?
Probably, I mean, right now, Dexter Mitchell.
Dexter Mitchell.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a solo gig for the time being.
Okay, Dexter Mitchell. And describe to people the type of music you like to play. I saw you on YouTube. It's Dexter Mitchell II on YouTube. You have a lot of cover songs, and then you start putting out some originals. So yeah, describe the type of music you like to play and the music you like to write.
Music I like to play. I busk a lot, like go on the street and like play for money and stuff.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that stuff was kind of popular things, but also I guess like I really liked Ed Sheeran back in the time, and like Young the Giant and Cage the Elephant.
Yeah.
Stuff that's like sounds good and is like easy to play.
Sounds good on guitar and in a band.
Yeah. But I guess when I write, I guess right now my stuff is more kind of like singer-songwriter, R&B type stuff. Like I'm inspired by Steve Lacy and like Willow Smith and like Anderson .Paak. And so I feel like when I write music, it kind of manifests itself like that a lot more, as much as it can with me and my acoustic. But I don't know. Once it kind of like reaches the final product, I think that'll be
Yes.
kind of like the vibe. But I don't know. I also don't like sticking to one genre. I think once I these songs that I've been working on now are a really good representation of where I'm at or like where I've been, and it's very honest and true. But I think now that I'm exploring music a lot more, I'm kind of want to take it a step further and kind of get outside of what I've always done and just figure out, what this music thing is all about.
Okay. My heart told me this. I think we should go into the first song
Okay.
to kind of like get you through like what you're trying to like tell people, and maybe that'll loosen you up even more
Okay.
once you like show yourself like and express yourself.
How,
All right. What's the first song you want to play?
okay. This song is called FYF. It's an acronym, or I guess an acronym is right. Yeah. Abbreviation or acronym for Fuck Your Feelings.
Fuck Your Feelings. I was going to ask what FYF stands for.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised you didn't. I figured you would have.
Yeah, I was like, is it FYE for entertainment? But
Throwback.
Yeah. So one second. I'm gonna move the camera
Okay.
and we're gonna get started. So this is FYF by Dexter Mitchell.
Getting walked all over like a doormat. No one ever leaving any problems at the front end. Somehow you inside, you ain't even open it. Oh, that's because I left the front door open. Shit, gotta lock that. It's not fun, man. Building up my barriers, trying to keep the light in every single crevice. But I'm careless, letting demons, and they suck my soul out with every disagreement. But it's just a thought, so what the fuck? What if I stop doing things just to keep it up? The looks, the crowds, creatures of the habit. I love my habits, but with respect I fucking had it. I'm not gonna try so hard to please somebody else, 'cause when I make it home I feel so fucking empty. Keep your head up, no it's not your fault. This crazy world has gone and failed us all. I'm tired of losing sleep to please somebody else. Finally found a way to be alone with myself. Staying up, eating snacks, getting high with myself. But I'll be damned if I don't say that I get lonely sometimes, but only on my own time. So then I thought that I'd finally shoot my fucking shot, 'cause my intentions are pure. At first I wasn't so sure, at last I feel reassured. I wasn't doing all of this to get me off a good nut, but that's how it ended up. Now my head's all twisted up. I wanna be around you whenever's possible to, but baby not all the time, 'cause you ain't hitting my line. And when you finally do, the message thread ends on blue. I'm not gonna say I love you, but what if I wanted to? I'm not gonna try so hard to please somebody else, 'cause when I make it home I feel so fucking empty. Keep your head up, no it's not your fault. This crazy world has gone and failed us all. I'm tired of losing sleep to please somebody else. I'm not gonna try so hard to please somebody else, 'cause when I make it home I feel so fucking empty. Keep your head up, no it's not your fault. This crazy world has gone and found us all. I'm tired of losing sleep. I'm tired of losing sleep. I'm tired of losing sleep.
You can talk first.
That was cathartic.
Why was it cathartic?
I don't know. I think my dad used to say this a lot, because I talk about him singing and like growing up in the church, but he's also a minister as well, and so a lot of times, almost every time he would go to speak, or like he's had churches of his own, but a lot of times he would be invited to churches to speak. But he talked about all the time how he would love to sing before he preaches, because it's like he knows that's something he's good at, and like he knows that that's something that like connects with people. And so like even if he's like unsure about the sermon or like nervous or something, like singing kind of like levels him out. And like I understand what he was talking about now.
Yeah, man, everything feels leveled out. I feel leveled out. Like, all right, FYF.
Yes.
Why did you call it FYF?
I think initially I was trying to be like coy and would just, I don't know, was gonna try and not tell people what it meant, just so that people could kind of like figure it out. But I mean, I feel like if you don't know explicitly and then you find out, it still makes sense.
Yes.
So I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But I still want to abbreviate it for some reason.
So, why'd you write the song?
Well, I guess I literally assumed, I just thought about this. I think another reason I abbreviated it was because I didn't want, like, if I talked about the song to somebody, I didn't want the person who it was about to know that it was like a diss track, essentially. Because I was like seeing this person for a while, and like we ended up like everything was cool, and like we like were together for a minute, but initially it was kind of like we like hung out once and like kind of hit things off, and then I kind of would like reach out to them, and they were kind of just like not as responsive, and so I was like, hey, yo, do you still like want to hang out? Because we were kind of like doing something before. And so it was kind of just like speaking of that, where I was trying to be like, I guess the fuck your feelings part comes in, where it's like for a while I was very like trying to open and like trying to see where things were going, and I'm like, all right, yeah, like benefit of the doubt, maybe they're busy, like maybe they've got stuff going on. And then like after time I was just kind of like, all right, like this is, I feel like I'm being stepped on a little bit.
The person saying fuck your feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's like my way of saying it back, but it's like,
yeah,
instead of like screaming in their face, it's like a nice song.
It really is. It really is. Like, jeez. How long ago did you write it?
I think like I was thinking about that today. About 2 years ago, like almost to the day, maybe like a couple weeks, give or take. It was like May-ish of like 2019, I think. Yeah.
You can you pull the mic over to you closer?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can like move the whole stand. All right, there you go. So how many times have you played the song for people, for public?
I played it on a friend of mine's Instagram Live one time. They were doing like an Instagram Live show.
Who's your friend? You like do you want to like
plug
shout him out? Or?
Addie Brown. It was Journal Church. I don't know if she's still doing Journal Church, but
what is Journal Church?
It was like she just kind of like pulled out a bunch of old journals and was kind of like going through them, and it was like, like between good, bad, and in between, like cringy high school stuff, or like stuff that you're like kind of prouder of, or like stuff that you've like reflected on and things like that.
Like everyone sharing their journal?
Yeah, it's like every week she would kind of have on someone else, and like
that sounds cool.
Her and the guest would kind of do something, and I write a lot, so like, that was one of the songs.
How'd you meet the person?
Addie, well, we went to CFC together.
Okay.
Both did theater.
And
she was a little bit older than me, though, so.
You just don't know if she's doing it yet?
Well.
Or doing it still?
Yeah, she's got a podcast, and I feel terrible that I don't know the name. But she's doing well, I know.
Addie Brown.
Addie Brown, yeah, you can find her on Instagram.
All right. Journal Church, that sounds like a great idea, by the way. I like that idea.
Yeah.
So FYF.
Yes.
What? Oh, yeah, FYF. So you played it live on Instagram for her. Who else have you played it for?
I think I've played it for a few people. Like I've definitely like sent it to a few friends, just as like a demo, and like played it for people that I've like recorded with. But I can't recall many people that I've like sat down and played it for, because that's the other thing. Like I haven't performed in a while or like done a show.
Yeah.
And so it's weird to just like be the guy with the guitar.
you know,
bring it over, unless like
I'm gonna play now.
Yeah, unless you like can get like book a gig, like no one's.
This is a little bit formal.
You're not just gonna be like, hey guys, you want to hear the song I just wrote? Like coming out of your cave after spending a night writing, you know?
Yes. I understand what you're saying.
It's not a good look.
I got you. So 2 things. You said you used the Busk. That's
Busk, yeah, Busking, Busk.
Okay, Busk. And how is that? And how much money do you make usually doing that?
Busking is great. I guess like I think I mentioned it, but it's like for those who don't know,
it's like a hidden side hustle people need.
Just like going out on the street and you leave like a hat or like a what's it call them? I usually use my guitar case, and like throw a few dollars in there so that people know that you can leave money if you think I sound good. And Charleston's busking laws are pretty like cool. You don't need a permit or anything, but yeah, I've been doing that pretty much since I moved to Charleston, just to like make money. And like I don't know, on a good day I can walk away with like $100 for like 2 hours.
Dang.
It's not bad.
I got like 2 thoughts. One is like, has wind ever like picked up all your money?
Yes, very often.
Okay.
I actually like usually like put my phone on do not disturb and like set it down like on top of the money once it's like starts coming in, because there have been times where like my whole case will like fly a little bit and like there's just like dollars going down the street, and people are nice, they'll like help me, but it's I say people are nice and they'll help me, but they're also like, if they see it flying, they'll pass by.
Take $1.
Well, no, people are very concerned for me, honestly. Like I usually just like I could probably do better than just throwing my phone down there. Like I could have like something to weight it down.
I'm trying to think of
but like if it is really windy, people will walk by like, and even if they don't throw anything, they'll be like, oh, watch out, like it's windy, like oh, your money's gonna fly away. Like every time it's a windy day, everyone is so concerned, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, that was the first thought.
It's so nice.
And then 2, I was thinking like, do you have like territories? Do you like want to like? Is there another person?
Yeah, there's a very strict and hard and fast busking laws, or busking territory, I should say. Often have to fight local busker. No, I'm just playing.
I'm saying like I want this corner of this street.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've been staking out the same place for like hours sometimes. No, I like to play on King and George is like a really good spot. There's like that like awning kind of. If you're going like towards Upper King on George, it's like right next to Satilli Theater. And then I like playing on Market Street too. That's a pretty dope spot right outside of the Tervis store. Okay. Those are kind of like the 2 spots that I usually post up at.
What's your like total thoughts and feelings on Charleston, South Carolina?
Charleston's dope. I mean, it's a city that's always changing and growing, and you know, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse.
Yeah, like what's the worst you think?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like no one likes tourists or like touristy things. Yeah. But I feel like
there's some of the people that put the dollars in the in the guitar case.
I feel like there could be a lot more time spent giving back to the community than time spent trying to draw new people.
Yes. That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, that's probably the only way I'll put it.
Okay,
for now.
So yeah, like okay, you're in Charleston. How long you been in Charleston?
Since 2015. So how long is that now?
6.
6 years? I guess in August that'll be 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you came for CFC. And when did you go to college for?
I went for theater. I was a theater major.
All right. And how was those 4 years being a theater major?
It was good. It was a great time. I didn't finish, but
okay.
Yeah, I met a lot of really cool people, and I learned a lot about acting and like what that process looks like, which is really the main reason why I wanted to go into theater, is just to be able to, I mean, one, I am an actor, and so like I like acting, and I did that in high school, but I think going to school for it and studying it, I was really in this place, I guess, when I was it's kind of changed now. When I was going to school and like young and like I want to do this, I was like I really wanted to learn how to direct actors, and so
That's a hard thing to do.
yeah, and so I thought if I get better at acting myself, and then
Smart.
kind of weave in the two disciplines.
I thought of that. Followed that same thing. I took like one acting class in college.
Nice.
Because I was like, I'm gonna have to like be around actors and actresses. And it was very hard. It was very challenging. It was me basically confronting my like not social anxiety, but like fear of like putting myself out there.
Yeah.
So like you had to like the final like I guess test or exam. You had to like remember all these lines, and you gotta like even like dress up according to the role. And you had to like you had the whole room to yourself, and you had like 3 judges, like people looking at you.
Wow.
And
that's intense.
And you had to like move there and talk here and talk there.
This is like an audition.
It was an audition, basically. Yeah. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Oh yeah.
I mean, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't make it any less terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like auditioning is a whole thing. It's like you could be acting for years and still get like nervous at auditions. Cause it's daunting, just like you said.
Yes, it was very daunting, and I like wrote like an email to my professor how this was like a big thing for me and how like it helped me a lot, and I will never forget like so like I respect like actors, actresses. It's so hard. Some people are very natural at it. Yeah, and, like that kind of scares me how like natural they can be, but like some people like they can be good, and that's like you get to see like the grittiness of it, and that makes it seem real sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that my time at CFC taught me more than anything about acting specifically is that like to act, like you can't act, like you can't fake it. Like it's all about just like being real and like getting like out of your own way, pretty much just being able to like be truthful and honest in like this one regard, like even if it's not like your own personal, like I don't have to be like Dexter Mitchell on stage, but like if I'm being as honest to whatever character I've built, then that's cathartic. That's cathartic. It's like I think of acting at this point as more of kind of like an exercise, or like I feel like I get the same benefits people get from yoga from acting. Like it's just like this like outer body type thing that like once you're done, it's kind of like you just kind of like vibrate a little, and it's just like it's awesome.
So
it's awesome.
Name me like one of your favorite like actors, or like someone that you would want to like replace and be you as the role, like a TV show, a movie. I know this is gonna be hard because I know memory has to play a big role. Well, but like.
Do you mean like something that's on now, or just like
anything?
Who do I want to be? Someone that
you always imagine you wanted to be, like some. For me, it would be easy. Like just.
I got that.
Okay. I was gonna think one thing, like Brandon Fraser in The Mummy. Like I would like to replace myself and be that guy. So.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I really like. I love Donald Glover. That's like.
Okay.
He's like the guy. Yeah. I mean, like I like what he does, but like I'm also like really into like superhero stuff. So like I don't know. I like that like okay. Like if I could get offered the roles that Michael B. Jordan gets offered, I would be cool. Like I could do like serious stuff, but I'm also like I could be typecast as like the guy in Creed, you know? Yeah. And so I think that would be really cool.
Okay, I'm trying to think what the newest Michael B. Jordan movie is, but
I can't remember the name. I just watched it, and when I was back home a couple weeks ago.
Was it like a love romance?
No, it's the Tom Clancy one.
Oh.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But it was good. It was so good. I watched it with my family. It was fantastic.
Where was it on? Netflix?
It's on Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
It was just like a good like action like thriller.
I want to watch it tonight.
Very kind of emotional. Like they really don't pull any punches. Like right from the beginning, the like premise is kind of in your face.
Okay,
but it's good.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about like recent like music. Like basically, I feel like a lot of artists like are inspired by like the the things around them, the music they listen to, the art they see. What have you been inspired by recently? Like, well, you told me like Anderson .Paak and like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. You said Willow and the other person,
Steve Lacy.
and I don't know who Steve Lacy is because that's
Okay.
my question basically.
So-
like, explain Steve Lacy for everyone.
Do you know the group The Internet?
No.
Okay. They're like an R&B group. They've like, I don't remember when they started producing music, but they kind of came up with like Frank Ocean and Tyler the Creator. Like they all kind of work together. And like Earl Sweatshirt and those kind of folks. But he plays guitar in The Internet, and he also produces. Like he's produced for like J. Cole and Solange, and so they're just like.
Well, he's a music producer.
He's the producer, but he also released a solo album 2019.
His name is called The Internet.
No, that's the name of the band.
Oh,
Steve
dope
Lacy
name.
is the one who does like the producing.
Okay.
But like all of them do, like Sid the Kid, or like Sid.
Okay.
If you know her, she does solo stuff, and like Matt Martians and
Okay.
yeah, The Internet. They're just like a really good
They're a
R&B group.
a collaborative.
I guess, yeah.
Or just music
No, I think. I mean,
label?
I think they're more. Yeah, I think they're just a band. They just have other stuff going on.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're so good.
Yeah, yeah.
They're really good.
I didn't know who that was, and now like I want to like look that up. So The Internet, you said.
Yeah.
It's a dope thing. All right, that's the beeping for the pizza. So we're gonna take
a break.
intermission and eat some pizza, and then after pizza, do you want to go into a song or you want to like chill for a little bit then go into a song? I'll let you get the choice.
Let's see. You can do another song.
All right. We'll decide. We'll say after
Okay.
pizza.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We are back from eating pizza with Dexter Mitchell. And this is episode 4 of Things in Dreams podcast. And we just talked during the intermission eating pizza. And we're going to keep talking a little bit before his next song. Dexter.
Brandon.
Read my mind.
You're thinking about
If you get it right, that'd be so weird.
cupcakes.
No. All right, one more try. I'll tell you, I guess, at the end. Yeah.
I'm terrible
All
at
right.
this.
So always remember, I guess, my facial expression. So
yeah,
when
I
someone
was
else,
trying to look at your face.
so when someone else has the same facial expression, you'll know what it is. I was thinking about pickles for some reason, and then it went to Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, I was gonna say.
So if someone has that face, I don't know what face I
Piccolo.
did. They're thinking about Piccolo. I don't know why.
I've never heard that.
I'm just making
Is that
this
like
up.
a meme?
I'm just making this up.
Oh, okay.
This is like all wrong. So we were talking about how you went to school, CFC, for theater.
Yes.
And we're talking about acting before we like stopped. And we're talking about roles and how you want to be a filmmaker. I was talking about how I took an acting class, and you talking about how it's daunting. Let's go back in acting real quick.
Sure.
You said it's cathartic. Like,
Yes.
what do you think is the most cathartic thing in the world to do?
To do? I think if more people just like screamed,
Yeah.
like when they want to scream, like not necessarily at people, but like if you're just like feeling some stuff, just like let it out. Like, who's stopping you? Like, we're all adults. Like, children get to scream and cry whenever they want to. Like, at least I'm doing it with an informed, perspective.
Or it's like it's more controlled screaming when you're singing.
Yeah. Or sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're catching on to my secret.
Yeah. I got you.
It's just an excuse to scream.
Yeah. So basically, we could turn some of your songs into screamo songs.
Oh,
if you want to.
I'm working to that point.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually do have a screamo version of FYF.
My brain was thinking that. So yeah. So that's cool.
No, yeah. No, I do I do want to get into like punk music more. Or as far as writing, I've been listening to a lot more punk music now.
What
than I
kind?
ever
Like
have.
Machine Gun Kelly gone punk, or like?
No.
Are the real punk.
The real.
Yeah.
Sorry, my friends really like Machine Gun Kelly. That's just like a topic of contention.
He
for
made
us.
he made a great strategic move to go punk.
Yeah. I mean, it's a move for sure. I've been listening to a lot of like classic punk or like 70s stuff, like Sex Pistols. There's this group Death from Detroit that's really good.
I'm gonna listen to that now.
Yeah, they're great. Like Bad Brains, Misfits.
Bad Brains. Misfits. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the punk.
Yeah.
Dang.
Trying to get back to the roots because I'm like I never like came up listening to that. Like I've listened to like Green Day and stuff like growing up, and so at the point that I decided like what punk do I want to listen to, I'm like might as well start at the beginning.
That's a smart move and makes me want to start at the beginning because I mean to be honest, I never listened to the originals like Sex Pistols, Misfits, like none of that. I think my original, I guess. Okay, we can go into genres real quick. Like
Okay.
the Smiths. What do you think is that?
What is it?
What kind of genre do you think the Smiths are?
I mean, it's definitely like rock. I'd say probably like alternative rock. I feel like that's kind of like one of the first.
What is alternative?
Alternative. I mean, it was like different than what everyone else was doing in the 80s, you know.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't like the 80s rock bands or like the hair bands. It was like stuff that you put on and it's sad, but it's not like you know, it wasn't like ballad type stuff. It was these UK guys just playing sad music, and people still liked it, you know.
Yeah. So the Misfits, Sex Pistols, like that's punk. What kind of like describe punk like for people, or what do you think punk was in the 70s?
I guess back then it was like it was such a. It's I'm trying to think because I've been listening to a lot, but I haven't like I really want to watch some like Sex Pistols documentaries and like really like get into that world because I guess for Death, I watched a documentary about Death. They were
Death from Detroit.
Yes.
Okay.
They were kind of like they were making music. They were making punk music like in like late 60s, early 70s, before they're considered proto-punk, like punk before people even knew to call that music punk.
I want to know like their like backstory to make them get to that.
Yeah,
that sound.
Well, there's a it's on YouTube. A Band Called Death is the name of the documentary. But I watched it and like I don't know. I just think that like for what punk is, like I don't know a lot about it, but from what I've heard and like what I've experienced from people who are like punk heads and like experienced from like even like being with Death and stuff or like getting into Death, it's just that like punk is it's just like gritty and raw and honest and like as long as you're just like being a fucking like I don't know, just doing your thing, like your punk can always be like
it can
honest.
be anything.
Yeah, it can really be anything. And like I feel like I saw something. I feel like being black is like pretty punk. Like just like I think it's just like
cool.
being like sticking out on purpose just to like even though it's
I
like
feel that.
That's like it's not like on purpose. It's like that's your truth.
But you
and
can
so,
like turn it into something you want it to be.
Exactly.
And that's so I think that's cool. I like that you made that statement. Like I kind of stick out because I'm so freaking big and tall. So like I have to be noticed because like I kind of take up space and take up like people's eyes.
You could turn that into a shtick.
And that's what I've tried to do many times. Like so like I want to go back to I call it primal screaming basically. But you're talking about screaming.
Definitely. That's
cathartic.
Primal. See, I think okay, I feel like if people thought about it as primal, people wouldn't think, why are you screaming?
Yeah. I was like so like from my like my work now, like I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs and like that type of world and like people who are like influencers and like this one guy, his name's Elliot Hulse, and he like introduced like he was like a strength coach turned motivational speaker. And one of the things he like did that was kind of like out of the norm was he told people to like scream your biggest fears and scream like the things you want and like scream out your traumas and like you can do like and you like supposed to like tap your body and shake your body and just like scream it out. And
exactly, that's cathartic.
Yes, and then like on this it's a Netflix like comedy like thing. Do you know the podcast Two Bears in One Cave?
Mm-mm.
I think the guy's name Bert Burns. I don't know. Bert. His name is Bert. He's a guy who like takes his shirt off. He has like a beer gut. He's a comedian. But
Okay.
anyways, like they did Primal Screaming in the Netflix thing, and like they were talking about like, my dad left me, and then like one guy he was like on the Dave Chappelle show,
Okay.
and then like. And he's black, African American, like right. but
obviously.
But Bert was like one guy who's Bobby Lee. He's like, yeah, my dad like blah 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 left me, and then Bert like assumed for the guy that like that wait blah 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 his name he didn't even have a dad or something like that, and like it's just like stupid shit like that. But they were Primal Screaming and like they started crying and all that stuff, but Primal Screaming, like, have you done it before though?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sometimes you just gotta.
Yeah.
You just gotta. I mean, like, as far as I don't know if the concept of Primal Screaming that was going on, and like, it seems like they were more.
They try to make it funny, but they did like actually. Well, the thing about these comedians is like they just like so open and honest about themselves, and I see like really like. Some type of like cathartic thing about that being open, like Bobby Lee, his podcast is called Tiger Belly, and I kind of like it's one of my favorite podcasts. He'll just say everything on his mind, and like he'll say all his darkest like sexual like things that's happened, like
right.
It gets pretty crazy, and like I'm just like, okay, if I just be like that, then I don't have to like hold anything in, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Primal Screaming. Like, when's the last time you done it?
I do it. I honestly scream a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's some times where it's like I have to go outside and like scream, or like I'm really upset and I'm just like, ah.
Yeah.
But like general discomfort, like I'll scream, and I think screaming is primal in and of itself. And so,
have your roommate like heard you?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, she's not home a lot, but
okay.
She screams too. It's very give and take. Yeah,
that's cool. Okay.
You're just upset and you're just like,
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. This is where we're gonna switch it up because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna switch it up.
Switch it up.
Dexter, ask me a question. Any question on your mind?
Okay, this is interesting because I was thinking about this. So you're very filmography and you do a lot of shooting and have done a lot with film. What's your favorite movie?
I tell everyone the same thing, and it's hard to like get them to be like, "Oh yeah!" Like it's called Crash.
I think I've heard of it. Oh wait, no, that's the one about 9/11, right?
No, that's Remember Me with Robert Pattinson.
No,
Crash is like five stories into Don Cheadle's in it.
Yeah. I guess
Brendan
it's not
Fraser,
about 9/11. I know exactly what movie you're talking about.
Was like and Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Okay, so it beat out Brokeback Mountain that year.
Did it really?
For Best Picture. So everyone was like, Brokeback Mountain's gonna win, and Crash like came like
I do remember that
out of nowhere and beat it. And so I watched it with like my family.
I think I watched that in school.
You watched Crash in school?
For some reason, I don't remember.
It was very I don't know why it was like very like poignant during the time. It was very racial like themed and like police what's the word, police brutality.
Yes.
And then just like stereotypes and like how like you can't judge people by like a stereotype.
I see.
And it was like all these things like intertwined. Also like Muslims like and how they're treated. Like so there's a guy there who had Muslim faith. So it had like 5 different stories all like intertwined. And like I think I was like 13 and I was watching it and I was like, whoa. Like all these stories intertwined. And how it ends is like a twist. It's kind of like Saw. Remember the first Saw movie?
Yeah.
How like you didn't know it was gonna happen at the end. That's how Crash is.
Okay, I see.
And now if you watch it, it does stand up to the time, but like I think it affected me because I was like a young mind.
Yeah.
And like I saw the emotions and like these adult themes like in the world like intertwined, and I was like, whoa, this is the world I'm about to get into. Like,
yeah.
And that's why it affected me. And just the storytelling and just like it was like Like Don Cheadle, like the first thing that comes up, like there's a lot of metaphors in it too. Like there's even like kid kidnapping and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
And oh my god, it's like giving me shivers at the end. Like you'll see, like I would recommend
I'll have
watching
to go watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so Crash is number 1. Number 2 is Interstellar.
Interstellar's a great movie.
I watched it twice, and like I was just like, I watched it in the movie theater too, and like the story's great, the music's great, but like I guess like it kind of put you in the driver's seat of wanting to be Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
And you wanted to be the guy that goes to space and then goes into like time and then saves the universe, and you find out it's because of love. And I don't know, that's why I liked the movie, because it made me feel like I was Matthew McConaughey and I wanted, like, I was saving things. I mean, I was high at the time, so maybe that's why. But yeah, Interstellar and Crash are 1 and 2. And 3, I can't really decide. So yeah. Yeah. Another question for me?
Let's see. Let me think. I like to ask questions that are going to bring out more than just like a simple answer.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into not only just like film, but we talked a little bit about producing and like wanting to be, you know, kind of making something bigger, and like you know, what inspires you to do things like this podcast and set it up for the people of YouTube? And...
Oh God. Backstory. So I might cry. I don't know if I will, but I will.
Catharsis.
I might.
We're on there.
But
all right.
Me and Winston last podcast, we had like a 2-hour podcast.
Mm-hmm. I actually watched that episode. I did.
But that was after. So we had a 2-hour podcast that never got recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
And basically never got recorded because like something happened. I had to delete some stuff, and I actually deleted the whole files or something.
Oof.
And basically Winston asked the same question, and like I described it, and like I basically like sent like shivers through the room, and he like had to take a break because it was like too emotional.
Yeah.
And I guess you like I gotta like say it again.
I mean, you can give an abridged version if you like.
Yeah, I think since I like because you tell it, you can like tell it maybe in a more easier way.
I don't want to make you emotional if you don't want to get emotional.
Well, I think I gotta tell it in a way that like it will like be understandable without like too much wordplay.
I mean, this is your show. Take your time.
But basically, what made me wanted to start making like films and like be creative. Well, there's 2 stories. Well, there are 2 parts. At 6 years old, my mom lost her eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
Her gallbladder erupted, killed her optic nerves. Wow. She was in a coma, and they had like 80% chance of dying. She had an 80% chance of dying. And basically, I grew up since I was 6 with a single mom. We lived right across the street from my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to like drive. Like they were able to take us places.
Right.
It's a happy story. She Siri technology, like she can do everything she wants to do on the internet. She just can't drive. She can cook. She can do it. She lives by herself. She's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up is like 6 years old and up with like a single mom who's also blind. We had to like become like a little bit more parental and like help her in the grocery store, tell her what the things are, what we should buy. But one of the things we did was like we would rent movies from Blockbuster or Netflix because like that was kind of like a family thing, and which is common. Everyone does that.
Yeah. Miss Blockbuster days.
Yeah, but like for me, I was kind of like trying to find escapism, like because like I was living in this world where like my mom couldn't see me, and I was like seeing myself grow up, but no one else could see me grow up really. Like I was dealing with me and my sister were kind of doing it at the same time, and we didn't have a dad basically, and we were like, oh, we're going in this world, we're like by ourselves almost,
right? But
we still had like the heartbeat and the emotion from my mom. But we watched movies together, and like. A mom who can't see like the faces or the visuals, she still can feel the impact of the movie.
Yeah.
She could still like understand the sad parts, and you could like look over and she was like have a tear in her eye when the sad part comes. And like when the happy part comes, or like, you know, emotional ending, like kiss or like, you know, they hug or like it's a happy ending, she still can feel that, you know, feelings.
Right.
And that was escapism for her. So basically I understood the impact of film as escapism for people who need it. And I was like, well, I can't like, I'm in this reality, but with film, I can create a whole other reality and I can live in that reality. And my just thought process went from that to like, well, I want to be on a film set around people who like want to make a dream happen and be in this like mind space where like, we're all trying to like work towards one thing bigger than ourselves. And then at the end, we have this like thing that like is a different universe, a different world.
Yeah.
And that can maybe impact someone else or give someone else like the escapism basically. And they can like go into another world. And a lot of people live in other worlds, like when they watch cartoons as a kid, or like Power Rangers or Dexter's Laboratory, or like, I don't know, I'm just like,
love
or,
Power
like
Rangers.
yeah. So basically, like artists create escapism for people.
Yeah.
And that's what made me want to go in the film, basically, is to understand escapism and create like a universe for people who need it, and also be in a universe with creatives.
Yeah.
So that's what made me want to be that. And I kind of have this kind of a little bit of business mindset, but not really. I've tried to be a freelancer and stuff like that. I'm not great at like asking for money and like saying I'm worth this much, I'm valuable, blah, blah, blah. I'm not great at that.
Right.
But the producer basically I was thinking of it like, oh, what pays a little bit more than normal, but you can have a little bit of creative control and you can like help people create their dreams.
Yeah.
So someone would come to you and they're like, I have this script, like, and I'll be like, okay, well, I'll get you this camera, I'll get you this actor, I'll get you this set, I'll get you this car if you need it.
Yeah.
So I can put the pieces together. You just give me your dream and I can make it happen.
Right.
And I thought that would be like something cool. Like, I don't know, I had like a calling to like, you know, my dream is to help other people create their dreams.
Yeah.
And like, I always like thought that. And that's basically what makes me want to be a producer. Being a producer is kind of like difficult. The producer usually has the money to fund it.
Right.
So most producers are like rich, and then they use their money to like bankroll it to make more money, basically.
Yeah. It's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment. And like, so I was like searching like, how do I like become a producer? Like, go to a school that teaches that. There's some master programs that teaches that, but like I think I might have to go to film school, like the official film school, like masters and stuff like that, and get your like masters in filmography or cinematography. Because a lot of people that work in LA, they went to film school. And
right.
In college, I went for media arts, which is everything under the sun of video production and editing.
Right.
At USC, we had a green screen room, all that stuff, and we did work on short films and basically had to get actors and actresses around town to get things done. So I've been in that world, and it's hard, but you have to be around people that have the same energy, vibes, attitude, and they want to get something done. There's a lot of people who like have ideas, but there's a lot of people who are doers. Yeah. And that's where I know sometimes I'm not a doer, I'm an idea guy. So I need to be around people who are doers. And so that's things what I'm dealing with. So, but the biggest thing I could like tell anybody is like, you got to find a group of people to get things done.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's very true.
Things in Dreams podcast. I'm about to finish like your question. Was basically me going through like a lot of panic attacks and anxiety attacks from smoking weed.
Yeah. As it happens.
And like I was trying to figure out the root cause. And basically I wasn't doing anything creative on my own, or like talking to enough creative people, or actually being social basically at all. And I was like, well, I can do all those things in a podcast. You can talk about creativity. You can give someone a creative outlet. And by that, like I'm being creative basically by videotaping or maybe directing the conversation, and then getting creative ideas out and meeting someone new, making a friend basically. And like, I was like, well, that just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And talking is cathartic. So basically, the past 3 episodes, I've realized like it's a podcast, but also it's talk therapy.
Yeah.
So boom, there's your answer.
Dang. Wow. Very, very eloquently put.
Yeah. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking's wild.
Yeah, talking is wild. But this podcast is about Dexter Mitchell.
I thought you were gonna be. This podcast is brought to you in part by
yes,
Juicy Juice.
Sponsored. Yes, we have a sponsor for Juicy Juice.
And viewers like you.
And viewers like you. Yeah. What do you think our demographic is for someone who would want to watch this?
I think just like young creatives, really, just like people who enjoy. I don't even think young creatives is like a limiting term either. Like just like young folks who enjoy creating and people who create and just like want to hear some people talk about some cool stuff. Maybe
Yeah,
some
yeah.
music.
And then I would call it like underground.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, a lot of people
DIY type.
A lot of people probably never heard you.
Definitely.
Well,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't know actually. Probably. Like,
no, I mean you're right.
How popular are you, Dexter?
I mean, okay, let's not.
What's your Instagram
let's not get carried
followers?
away.
How many likes you get?
No, I mean like I've done like a few shows. Like I've done shows like with Clayton James. He raps around here, and he's put out some projects.
Was he a guy that was on this video with you, and he was like rapping?
Yes.
That's him?
Yes.
Okay, like I watched that video and I was like, okay, like who's this guy? And then we said his name, I was like, I don't know, I was like, he must be talking about him.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Clay, I met Clay when I first moved to Charleston actually. And so we've just kind of like it's kind of weird. I feel like we like kind of do our own thing and then like at some point we're just kind of like creating together and like we do some shows together or something and then we kind of like do our own thing and then at some point we're just kind of like I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah,
just
I've done
work
some
together well.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a bit, but I know he's got some shows coming up, so.
I clicked on your SoundCloud link, and it took me to someone else, which is him, right?
Possibly. Because I am in one of... Yes,
you were in the picture, and you were in the background. You were like on the 1s and 2s almost, or like where you were like
I think
DJing.
so. Yeah, or I don't know if that was me in the picture. It was like a... It wasn't like a picture. It was like an artist thing.
No, it was a picture.
Oh, because I don't do that DJing.
What?
I mean, there's definitely like pictures of me and him performing together. But
what were y'all? What did you play? Guitar?
No, I sang.
Okay.
I rapped a little bit in like some of his shows, but
that's why I asked you like straight. I was like you're so it's Clayton James at the SoundCloud link.
Yeah, I think there's a song that he released on SoundCloud that I'm in.
See,
Classic
I thought
Kicks.
that was you.
Oh yeah, no, that's not me. I think I was at that show though. Is that I think that's at Rec Room.
Yeah, because anyways, so I thought someone else was Dexter. By the way, so I'm sorry, but where was that? The Rec Room?
I think that was at Rec Room. We did shows. I know we did one at Tin Roof. I did one with him at Royal American one time.
When's the last time you performed on stage by yourself, solo?
It's probably been a few years, honestly.
What made you not want to? Because you don't have enough like music, probably, or like a whole set.
I mean,
you can
like
do some covers though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, who wants to?
Yeah,
do
some
covers
people
all the
like
time?
frown upon covers.
Yeah, I mean, like it's cool and it's fun, but like people want to hear you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess when I was in high school, a lot of the music that I was writing at the time was like, I listened back to it. It was good, but it's like stuff about like girls or like angsty in high school, like and so I guess when I first moved to Charleston, not that I like distanced myself from that, but I guess I always felt like there was like a lot of pressure to like do music.
Ooh.
And just like because people knew that I like played music and sang and stuff, and so like once I kind of got into theater, I was like, oh, this is kind of my thing. Like I really like storytelling. Whereas like I always knew music was kind of like not just something that I do, but it's like it has a special meaning. It has a different meaning than like wanting to like make a career out of telling stories.
Wait, so your biggest passion is storytelling?
Definitely.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Definitely.
Ooh.
And like it's weird because like I'm very passionate about music and like I love listening to music and playing, but like I don't. It's like I can't. I feel like the music, the actual part of music for me when I create is like secondary to what I'm really doing, and it's like a lot of it is just like getting my feelings out or just like getting like something off my chest, or it's like basically like writing a poem, and like I know how to play guitar and I know how to sing, and so I put it together. Whereas like storytelling, it's like I could sit for hours and just like think up stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, like I created a story, like I didn't even realize I was like building a world kind of. And so, and even just like reading about story and like reading about like technical elements and like the beats and stuff like that, like I love that shit.
Oh yeah, okay.
I just like dissecting stories.
Dang, okay. Let's talk about a common story and let's try to break it down.
Okay.
Break it down in a way like maybe a stoner will break it down. I don't know.
Like a what?
A stoner.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah. All right. Yeah.
It's like this. I don't know. Okay.
What's the story?
All right. So I'm thinking of like an original like childhood story. For some reason, I want to think of the Odyssey, but I don't know much about the Odyssey in my head right now.
Yeah, it's pretty classic.
Yeah, it's pretty
long.
Like, have you read
Water
Chronicles of Narnia?
I've read at least 2 of the books. I know the story.
Okay.
More or less. I could definitely give you a stoner rundown of it. I've
Okay,
seen the movie. I've seen the movie plenty of times. Okay. So, sorry. This is like one of those like I've been waiting for this moment all my life moments, but like I didn't realize. Because when I was younger, me and my brother and sister, we watched that movie specifically a lot. Yeah. But we watched a lot of different versions of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe before it came out, and we were like, this version sucks. This version. So, but anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track. Okay. So, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It like starts off. It's like the I think it's like World War II or something. Mm-hmm. They're like British. They're getting bombed to shit, and so they're like running to the bunker. I think their mom dies. They end up orphans that schlepped to some house. XYZ exposition. Slept to some house. Like they're rich and in the UK, so. There doesn't have to be much explaining as to why they're in some nice rich house. Yeah. But then at some point, this girl, Lucy, the little sister, stumbles onto the wardrobe and is like, oh shit, I'm in Narnia. And like she meets Mr. Tumnus. Everyone loves Mr. Tumnus, James McAvoy. And they're like, yo, he's like, I'm Mr. Tumnus. I've got this little flute. And she's like, yo, this is cool. And he's like, yeah, this is Narnia, dude. She's like, what's that? She's like, what do you mean? What's Narnia? And so she goes back and like, she's like, yo, like brother, sister, like, because what is it? It's like Lucy, Edmund, Peter.
Oh my god,
I can't remember the other sister's name. I feel so terrible. It's not Jane. She wasn't that popular, I guess. Yeah, she kind of was the least popular one. But they all go and they're like, no, I think she tries to bring him back there, and they're like, yo, like this is nothing. Like this is just a wall. But Edmund, this was the point of contention. Edmund's bitch ass finds a way into the wardrobe, meets the Ice Queen. She gives him the Turkish delight, and she's like, blah, 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 bring your brother and sister here. Like, humans, what are the humans doing in Narnia? And he's like, and so, like, I think something happens where she's like, Edmund, like, haven't you been there? And he's like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been in Narnia. As he's like wiping the Turkish delight off his face. But after a turn of events, they like get to Narnia. They meet Aslan. There's like a big war. Aslan and the Ice Queen got beef. There's that meme where he's like, don't recite the ancient laws to me. I was there when it was written.
Oh my god.
And then like Aslan dies, you know, the whole like Christ thing. And yeah, that's basically like pretty much like everything in between, like Edmund selling out his family for the Turkish delight, and then like meeting Aslan and the war. Those are pretty much the biggest parts. I don't remember much of the other like complexities that C.S. Lewis put into it because I was a child at the time. Yeah, exactly. But it's a classic story.
Dang, that's really good. Actually. That's really good. Basically, I wanted to like talk about stories. Like, first, I don't know. I just gonna put this. The biggest thing I remember from that book or from like this thing is like Aslan tells like who's the oldest male? Peter, because he had to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
And basically, he told him, like, every time you use your sword in battle to wipe the blood and clean your sword. And I was like, why do I don't know why, like, I always like, someone ask you, why do you think that's like significant in my head?
Wow. Yeah, I don't even remember that part. That's a good question. I mean, I think
why do you think why do you think that was important for Aslan the lion to tell Peter as he's trying to grow into a man and fight to always clean his sword?
Well, I think it's a respect thing, and also like respect for the dead, but also respect for your weapon. Because like, like steel is very like, obviously it's steel, but it's delicate. Like you got to like wet it and you got to keep it sharp, and it'll get dull and rusty. And it's different. Like Aslan telling him that and like teaching him respect for his weapon is different from like, when you see like movies where they just like slice someone's head off and there's like blood dripping.
Yeah.
It's like it's regal.
Yeah,
it's
regal. I haven't heard that one. What's regal?
Regal. It's like king-like. It's like very royal.
Okay, gotcha.
Regal. Aslan's very regal.
Okay. All right, another story. I don't know. Well, if we don't know it, Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Do you know how to explain that?
I'm gonna be honest. I have not seen like any
all
of
the
them.
movies.
I mean, like obviously I know it.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen like even the OG one.
Yeah.
I've seen like parts of it.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the Johnny Depp one, either of those.
Those are pretty bad. Willy Wonka.
Now that's a classic story.
Yeah.
So yeah, Willy Wonka. There's like Willy Wonka's the guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, like I'm shutting down the studio. But for one last time, if you get the golden ticket, you can come through. And so he like throws all the golden tickets out, and like all these like really rich kids and like these famous kids are like paparazzi's like, oh my god, this kid get the golden ticket, and they're like, yeah, I'm Augustus Gloop and I can't, like that's his whole personality.
Yeah.
And then there's like the girl, which one, Violet, she's like the child athlete. And the rich kid with the squirrels, the girl, I don't remember her name. But then there's Charlie, who like obsessed with Willy Wonka. I think his like granddad was also obsessed. Oh no, I think he used to work for them or something. I don't remember. There's some exposition there too, but Charlie, poor, all of his grandparents live in the same bed. His mom and dad, they're all down on their luck.
Yeah.
Somehow he gets the golden ticket. And this is also kind of a meme where it's like he gets the golden ticket, and his grandfather, who's been bedridden for like the entirety of what we know as the Willy Wonka canon up until this point, suddenly is brought to a miracle upon Charlie getting the golden ticket, which is a big deal because his grandpa's the one who takes him. Just seems like a scam, but you know what? For the sake of the story, we're gonna keep it.
It's a good heart. It's a good heart.
Yeah. And so, they all get there. They show up the day of. Willy Wonka's like this asinine, like he's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like Gene, what is his name? Gene, not Gene Ackerman. Gene
Will Waff W. It's like a W. Some of the
Wilder.
actor's name.
Gene Wilder. Is that his name?
Wilder. I know it's W.
Yeah. OG of Willy Wonka, fantastic.
Yeah.
But then Johnny Depp came in and did that, and like borderline like terrifying. It's like so funny and charismatic, but in the same time you're like, is this man gonna stick me with that cane right now? But they go in, and then essentially all the kids disobey every direct order that he tells them, like don't touch this, like you can't take anything, like just observe. Augustus Gloop gets sucked into from the chocolate river, and then they go down the chocolate river and the Oompa Loompas, they sing plays. Can't forget about the Oompa Loompas. Oompa Loompas there running around, they're like, we work here and we sing, but we might kick you into this river if you're not careful. I'm trying to remember what all happened. So there's the Augustus gets sucked up by the Oompa Loompas. There's the squirrel girl gets like sucked up into like pneumatic tubes where the squirrels get their acorns.
They're killing kids here.
Oh no, like very blatantly. Violet Beauregard turns into a violet or a blueberry. Says like, Violet, you're turning violet. That's what her mom says. Anna Sophia Robb. She did a good job with that role. And then there's the kid who gets turned like small because he tries to go into the TV. I remember in the Johnny Depp movie, he's like doing this and he's like being lifted off the platform. And then nothing happens to Charlie, but they do drink fizzy lifting drinks, which is a no-no. you drank fizzy lifting drinks. It's the Gene Wilder version.
Yeah.
You get nothing. There's this YouTube. No,
What is it?
there's this YouTube prank where these people try and like impersonate McDonald's and try and get this guy for like falsifying like one of the Monopoly scratchers.
Yeah.
But they use that scene as like, he's like, yeah, this is our lawyer, and he's like, oh, I didn't do anything. He's like, good day, sir. He's like literally Gene Wilder screaming from Willy Wonka, and this guy on the other side of the phone, he's like, I didn't beep beep, I didn't do this, and I didn't. You guys, I'm a loyal McDonald's customer.
You get nothing.
You get nothing. You lose. But yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Willy Wonka.
So I did that because it showed off your talent to understand stories and to be able to basically recite them back.
Yeah.
And that means you're going to be good at that.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's good. So stories. What do you think is like, why do you think stories are important?
I think stories are important because great stories, or to make a good story, it's like character driven. It's driven by emotion, and like that's something that we all have. Like we all have emotions.
Do you think emotions are bad sometimes?
I mean, if you make them bad.
But then you can learn from that if a story tells you why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like everyone's going to feel bad at some point, but I mean, like that's the beauty of stories, that you know that everyone feels that way. Mm-hmm. And like you can see yourself represented, even if it's like Wally or, you know, someone of a different race or like gender. Or, like, stories are universal.
Yes.
No matter, like I said, no matter the medium, like songs tell stories. You can watch
stories,
TV, movies.
All right. What do you think the first story ever told was?
The Bible, obviously. No.
Nah, it can't be. Yeah.
The first story ever told.
It must have been like the caveman, the Neanderthals.
I want to believe that like
it was like
the tortoise and the hare was like the first story.
Ooh.
or like that scene in. I want to believe that scene in 2001: A Space Odyssey, like the first scene where it's like the monkeys. I want to believe that everyone on their like caveman TV like saw that, like that was like the first thing that was ever broadcast, and so like cavemen were like in grunts and chants like you make a tool this way, and like the people can turn on you. I don't know. I
get where you're going.
But I don't know, what was this first story ever made?
I think that's the thing about it. It's like you got to imagine a little bit. But
I think story. You can find a story in anything. You know, I think stories existed as far back as people were able to retell or like successfully recount events, and like whether that be faithfully or like intentionally, like to make a story.
Yeah. My thoughts going. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
First story was probably like, oh yeah, did you see what so and so did down the street?
yeah. So I think in some cultures and like some like family structures, like, I mean, it's also happening today. Like, there's always that one person who like knows the family history, and able to like tell all the stories of what happened. Like this person did this, and this, and this, and this.
The elders.
I feel like you will become that person.
You think?
Like, do you know everything about your family's history? And like,
I know quite a bit. I definitely talked to my mom recently and like asked her for like a family tree and like.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I could be that person.
I mean, do you want to have kids?
No.
Okay. I guess you have no one to tell them to.
I mean, I guess I that would successfully position me to be the elder of the family if I like am more.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Tasked with preserving the history of the Mitchell.
So
family.
I think I'm saying that to you basically because like since you love stories and you're able to like tell a story, maybe that's like a gift that you need to like give to people around you and maybe to your family.
Yeah,
I guess as you get older.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely like the goal. I mean, like I'm kind of in the same mindset as you as far as like producing and like wanting to be able to like be creative and like surround yourself with people who are creative. Because like my family, we all have like a very at least my immediate family, we have like a very pretty wide variety of like gifts and interests and things that we're good at. And I think if we had like the means, we could, you know, put all that together and it'd be a very symbiotic thing.
It's more like a family production company.
A little bit. I mean,
That's
like
cool, yeah.
my brother's like really into sports and he likes politics, and my sister, she went to school for communication. She's actually a producer for like a local news station in Mississippi. And then like I write and perform and stuff.
Dang,
and, like,
okay, yeah.
So I mean, like at some point, that's definitely like something that I'd like to do, as far as being able to tell the stories that I want to, but also help people tell the stories that they want to, and like make stories based off that.
Yeah. That's great.
It's just like a story. Story keeps on going.
Story keeps on going. Okay. All right. We're gonna like go into a transition.
Switch it up.
Well, not really. It's a smooth transition. So, Dexter Mitchell II.
Yes.
What's the next song story you want to tell and perform?
Oh, like in general, or do you
Like,
want me to pick up the
song.
guitar? Okay. This one's called Glass Pane. This it's a song that I wrote pretty recently that just kind of speaks to feeling like you want to communicate and feeling like you can't really like get loud enough for people to like take you seriously.
Ooh.
And so it's like, it's one thing to feel a bunch of things and like shut yourself off and like not want to talk to anyone, but it's like another thing. There's like this desperation that comes when you're like, know you have feelings and know how you want to talk about them, and you try and do that, and it just feels like no one's really like hearing you.
All right. Well, that's the next song we're about to do. It's called Glass Pane.
Yes.
All right.
Haven't been quite feeling like myself, like my voice is stuck behind a glass. Pain can be seen pretty clearly, but only how they want to perceive me, because they can't really hear me from behind this glass. Pain, da 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 da. Too weak and tired to break out from behind this thing that's keeping me from stepping up and speaking. If I did, they'd hear me weakly from behind this glass. From behind this glass. From behind this glass. Behind the pain now, having a full meltdown, but somehow I'm as quiet as a mouse. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Realize in the middle of looking out from behind the glass, no one else that's around me's got the shit figured out. No one said they did, but they all seem so well adjusted. Are they caught up or have I been dusted? Why hasn't anyone come and busted this glass? Busted this glass. I'm behind this glass. Behind the pain now. Having a full meltdown. But somehow I'm as quiet as a mouse. Can you hear me now? Yeah, you hear me now, 'cause I'm just talking loud. Were you even listening out? If you were, would I be shouting right now? But you hear me now. I bet you can hear me now, 'cause I'm screaming out. I don't say much, I try to play it cool, but when I do, I swear I look like a fool. 'Cause you changed the subject again. I know that people only ask how you doing. To be polite and let the convo keeps moving. Was I so crazy to think that you would wait for an answer? That you would wait for an answer. All right.
The room is clear from all negative energy right now. You can hear the insects outside.
The cicadas.
The cicadas. They come out every how many years?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then they basically, it's like the fastest love story of all time. They come out after like 10 years or so, and then like the male goes on the tree and like sings his song, and he's trying to attract a female mate, to come and have sex. So the female will be attracted to the best singer.
Nice.
And that's she's gonna get the sperm from, create eggs. The eggs go back into the ground. The cicadas, female and male, both die after they give birth. And it happens in like 3 days.
Wow.
Did you not know that?
I didn't.
What? You didn't know that?
I didn't.
That's the cicada life cycle. They do. They come out of the ground. Well, they're alive in the ground,
right?
But they're like dormant. There's like,
yeah.
And then they come out, and they literally have 3 days to mate, and then they die. And the eggs are the only thing that goes back into the ground. Well, that's what they're doing in the ground. The eggs are becoming life forms.
Oh, and that's what they do.
But their life span of activity is like 3 days long.
Wow.
That's what cicadas.
Did not know that.
They leave their shell, and they like, the nip comes out and all blah, blah, blah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I learned that when I like saw them on trees when I was in college, actually, and I like learned about it. But yeah. This is
the story of a girl.
What?
This is the story of a girl.
Yes. Took it on an autograph.
When she smiled.
I was like, no, look at her. Oh yeah. But yeah, so we done 2 songs. What songs did we do, Dexter?
We did FYF and Glass Pane.
And that's what you just did.
Yes.
Was Glass Pane. You said it was very recent, so it's very what is it for you? Explain.
I don't know. I think it was just like it was weird because a lot of times when I write, I kind of like I either like find like a chord progression I like, or just like kind of find my way on the guitar before I put the words to it, and it's like I find kind of the rhythm of the song before I add in the melody. But this time I was very intentional, and like I was intentional about coming up with the words first, but I was also like I knew that I kind of wanted to do like, it was kind of like an art project in of a sense. Like I had like this journal and I just like scribbled all over it and like wrote how I was feeling, kind of like a poem. And then like, it's like how I was feeling is like written like on one side of the journal and it's like all like black and like marker and stuff. And like, it's like this poem here. And then like in the like space between that, I wrote the lyrics for the song that I wanted to write and just like took the poem and like put it into words and then found some chords and then put that together. But I don't know. I was just like, I felt like I was just kind of exhausted with trying so hard to like be okay or like, you know, like people always like be honest about how you feel or like don't hold your feelings in or like reach out for help. And like, I felt like I was doing that and like trying hard to like, you know, go to those places of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I guess kind of like that safety net, like those people that you have that kind of like take care of you.
Okay.
But I guess I just felt like I wasn't being like understood or like heard. And it's like in this time of like COVID and everything, you know, everyone had stuff going on and like, it's not like I don't know.
I feel what you're saying.
It's a weird time.
Yeah. COVID. How was COVID time for you?
It was very weird.
Did you have like a COVID like fling or COVID love?
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
No, I was in. Sorry, sorry.
No. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Before you talk, I want to like talk about what you said about when I asked you to describe Dexter in 2 sentences, and you said like you're nice, outgoing, cool.
I didn't say all those things.
Yeah, you didn't say all those things. But yeah, I forgot what you said. But I know what you said. Then you said at the end, once you get to know you become, what's it called?
Like an insane person.
Insane person. Well, you said
I was a little unorthodox.
Unorthodox. That's the word.
Nice.
That's what. Yeah, I don't forget what
I'm
you
just
said.
like a little weird. I'm just.
Yeah.
Not.
So what happened just now was like I think your underlying like true self came out.
Oh yeah.
I said like, did you have a summer fling or love? And you're like, absolutely not.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just like I said it to you earlier. I'm just like bad at love and that stuff. I'm just like not. It's cool to like be in love and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I was also like not in Charleston at the time. I was living with my parents in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Oh, dang, in Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah. And so I kind of like didn't know anyone and spent a lot of time like alone, which was nice, honestly, because
like in downtown Atlanta, going to the parks or like
no. See, that's the thing. My parents live in Fayetteville, Georgia, technically, which is like 45 minutes outside of
it's
downtown.
all a huge suburb.
Yeah, and so I was like low key in the middle of nowhere. But if it's like the middle of nowhere is the suburbs, you know. And so it was nice. It was like very tranquil, like a lot of trees and like deer ran through the yard and stuff all the time. But like, yeah. I guess it's like weird coming back from like spending so much time by myself to coming back to Charleston and just like
getting back social again.
Yeah, you know, like how does hanging out with your friends look different in a time where we're like in a pandemic and like
you thought deep about that a lot?
Yeah, and even just like you know, the post, like even after the stuff was like less lockdown, just like how busy everything is and like how I feel like everyone's just been like trying to make ends meet really hard recently. And it's just been a lot of like,
it's so like it's tempting to just like file unemployment, but that's like not gonna like pay all the bills.
Yeah,
so.
Just like everyone's like busy at work and everyone's hard times right now. Everyone's just kind of on hard times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what that song was about. I just kind of tried to just being honest about how I was feeling, just like, because that's another thing I think we talked about is that it's been. When I was younger, I definitely was not great at communicating how I felt. And it's been a very intentional journey to try and be able to communicate my emotions better so that for myself and for other people so that, you know, they can help and I can tell them, hey, you hurt my feelings and this is why, instead of just being like, no, I'm fine.
Have you been in a fight before?
I mean, not physically.
Really?
But no. I mean, I'm trying to be nice to people.
Yeah. What do you think you want people to like remember you by? By this podcast.
I hope that people like. I hope that this is kind of like a tipping off point, maybe for
Hell
at least
yeah.
like being able to show people what I'm about, but like also like I don't know. I'm not super online. I mean, like I have some like covers and stuff, but I feel like I don't really talk about myself much or like talk about like what I'm doing. And so if I get to a place where I'm like making movies or like
Yeah.
making comics, maybe people one day will look back and like, oh shit, this was like, yeah, this when they were young before like I started reading their comics or something.
I think me and you, we should like continue this, like friendship.
Yeah, definitely.
We have a lot of things that we want to do that are like in the same.
Right in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need people who are doers. Are you a doer?
I definitely am. I'm a doer. I'm a thinker though too.
Yeah. Thinking's great, but we have to write it down and then execute.
Yeah,
So,
I like to make sure my ducks are in a row before I do. But once those ducks are in a row,
see,
do
sometimes
I
it's
will.
bad because like I'm kind of the same way, but I'm like analytical and like
Yeah. Well, I came here. I was like
yes.
I don't
came here. Thank you, Dexter.
Yeah,
for coming.
I've been reluctant to like
I've
you
been
know.
I rescheduled you like 4 times.
Yeah, no, it's you know, it
Yeah.
happens.
Well, the first time was like it was Sunday, and like I was like, do I do this or this? And then like I don't know the guy, and I think they gave me like a couple time to like keep texting you and keep checking you out.
Yeah.
Basically, like I would like basically this whole thing is meeting a stranger,
Yeah.
and like I just thought that like I needed more time, and then like I felt like as we like just kept, the days kept coming and like the dates kept changing,
Mhm.
kind of like excitement grew,
Yeah.
and like mystery grew, and they were like, well, it'd be interesting just to talk now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. And I just thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
like,
Thank you for
yeah.
having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like meeting people and I like talking to people and like figuring out what they're about. But I guess I was like when Aaron asked me, you know, to reach out or kind of like connected us, he mentioned like playing my music or stuff like that, and it's not that I didn't want to, but I guess
Yeah.
I haven't really like posted a lot of my music or like
Yeah.
I'm kind of just now getting to these stages of like wanting my music to be heard or like having enough music to be heard, and so I've been being very intentional about that. So when he was like, yeah, you should go play your music on this, and I was like, oh, I haven't like released it, I don't know if anyone knows it, but I was just like, you know what, just do like
just do.
you
Yeah,
got
just
the
do
music,
it.
like
Yeah.
that's what it's about. You
Yeah.
don't have to have it like all polished yet.
Exactly. Like I kind of like a fan of like bedroom music, like bedroom,
Yeah.
like sound quality too, like just rawness, like nothing that's like fine tuned, like mixed and all that, professionally mastered. So like, what is your dreams and visions of like going forward as you as an artist? Like, are you gonna make an album, or is there something you want to like say right now, like a bold prediction of yourself in a year or something like that?
Well, I guess like what I would really love to do, I mean, I'm trying to put out an EP very soon. I'm trying to like I'm in like the fetal stages of that, like
Okay.
just wanting to put out an EP. Like I said, most of my songs are just me and my guitar that I recorded on my phone, and so I'm trying to take that and transfer it to something different. But yeah, I'm gonna work on putting out an EP. But I guess bigger goals, I really want to build a website, and that'll be kind of like a landing page for my stuff, as far as like, you know, music, anything that I write or produce film wise. But I'd like to like, if that goes successfully, kind of evolve it into something that can be beneficial to local artists and local musicians, local, you know, videographers and film folks like ourselves.
Yeah.
And just kind of find a way to like give back to the community, but also to artists and to storytellers and people who create.
Hell yeah. Where can they find you at?
I'm on Instagram mostly, at Scorned Negro. I'm also on Twitter at the same handle. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's
still
like an
insane.
OG. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
You're not
then-
01 or 02 or 03. Like,
oh yeah, no, gotta be different somehow.
yeah. How long have you had that Instagram handle?
I've had it for a while, since like December. I think it says on Twitter December 2018,
Okay, dang.
and so I think I've had it on Instagram as long as I've had it on Twitter.
Okay. So everyone go check him out. And did you say your YouTube?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, Dexter Mitchell II. It's like 2 lowercase L's or 2 capital I's.
Yeah, I had to type it on my remote, and I was like, "What do I do? Ones or
yeah,
eyes or like?" Yeah.
that's usually how I usually do the I's. I think I.
SoundCloud?
But I'm Scorned Negro on SoundCloud as well. But yeah,
All right,
you can
I'm gonna ask
fish around.
because I told you I would. Why is your Instagram handle that?
Oh, well, I mean, like,
And what did you say?
oh
What'd
yeah,
you
it's
say?
like, do you want the short answer or the long answer?
And I said the long answer because I'm interested. And what did you say?
I was like, well, back in like the 1800s, there's these folks, these white guys,
Yeah,
who really
them.
wanted to enslave people.
Yeah,
and
they thought that was
create
a great
new world.
idea.
Yeah, no,
Christians too, probably.
yeah, definitely. Oh, only
Yeah, only Christians.
like almost exclusively
they
Christians.
thought God told you to do this. Apparently, like, yeah, morally right.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I mean, like, we're all scorned somewhere. If you're if you're not like Bill Gates rich or like some like mogul, like, you're scorned.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you are. Everyone's scorned. What's another synonym for scorn? Not hurt, torn,
Disrespected.
Ooh, dang. There you go.
Downtrodden.
Ooh, fuck yeah. We're getting there.
I'm trying to think of another word. I don't know if disheveled is quite the word I'm looking for.
Fucking God.
Disheveled is more like, my mom used to say I look disheveled when I would like come home and like haven't shaved and
then like one day you
haven't
like
had a
looked up the
haircut.
definition. He's like, what are you talking
Oh,
about?
I knew what she was calling me. She's an English teacher, or she was.
Okay.
So, sometimes she
She'll
says,
tell you the definition.
yeah, well, not even tell me. She'll just like say something and like that's like mean, or like not mean, but like nasty. Like, she won't be like, oh, you look like you need a haircut or something.
She
She'll
knew
be
how
like,
to use it in a sentence.
yeah, she'll be like,
so
you're looking kind of disheveled lately. And I'd just be like, thank you, mother. I appreciate that.
All right. Any like things you want to like shout out, or any last things you want to say? I know Winston wanted to save the sea turtles, so.
Oh, I mean, I'm always down for saving the sea turtles.
Anything
I mean,
you want to promote or say?
I'm working on some music, so yeah, follow me on Instagram. I'll, at the point that I'm gonna release stuff, then I'll put it on there.
They have to, people like routine and like schedule and times.
Yeah.
So you should like make a bold date that you're gonna put something out.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Come on. You don't like pressure?
No, well, it's not even. Yes, we'll just say yes.
Okay. All right. I gave you a chance.
Yeah. It'll. What's the word? What's the phrase? If it's for you, it'll find you.
All right. That's how we're gonna end it. I'm just playing. Do you want to play one more song?
Sure. Yes.
And I'm just gonna let you take over. You can say what you want.
Yeah, the song means a lot to me. It's by a band that I really like, Liz Cooper and the Stampede, and yeah, I've been playing it for a while, and I don't know that I've ever like played it for folks. So
this is the great thing about watching this podcast. A lot of things will be the first time for a lot of people.
First time.
And this is great.
This song is called Motions by Liz Cooper and the Stampede. The flowers in the window, drenched in golden light, beautiful and fragile like my shattered mind. I often think about you, especially when it rains. Hollow are the nights I'm all alone, make me insane. From time to time, from time to time, I go insane. From time to time, from time to time. Going through the motions, we do it every day. Back and forth and stop and go, and side to side we sway. You often think about me, I see it in your eyes. Feel it in the kisses that you steal from time to time. From time to time, we fall in love. From time to time we fall and break our brittle hearts onto the ground. From time to time you are to blame. Burning cigarettes and waiting for the rain. Going through the motions, we do it every day. So just okay. Well, this was fun, folks. This was Things and Dreams. Thank you for coming to listen to us talk, and thank you for listening to me play some tunes. If you like what you heard, again, I'm at Scorned Negro on Instagram and SoundCloud, and Dexter Mitchell II. It's like 2 I's or 2 L's, however you want to do it, on YouTube. But yeah, more stuff coming when it comes. So be on the lookout. I'm not gonna try so hard to please somebody else. 'Cause when I make it home, I feel so fucking empty. Keep your head up, no, it's not your fault.